Good morning, boys and girls. Thank you so much for joining with me this week as we seek to worship God, as we seek to learn a little bit more about what it means to be followers of Jesus. And this morning we're going to talk about something that is wonderful. And it's a simple word called communication. Over the years, people have found different ways of communicating with one another. And I'm not doing it here in the sanctuary because it would be too dangerous. People in times past used to light fires and send what was called smoke signals to communicate something from one group of people to another group of people. Or, in some places in our world in times past, they've also used a drum to communicate different messages for different groups of people to get a word out there. And then people have also used light. Oh, I forgot my I have a flashlight on my phone. I can try that. Let's see if we have a flashlight. See, there's the light of the flashlight. So they would use something called Morse code. So they would go, I don't know what one long one is, but let's turn it off and we'll do 3. And then really fast ones. And then 3 shorter ones, or longer ones. Is that 3? I don't know. And that's the Morse code, the way of communicating, is called Morse code, and that's for SOS, for help. Well, as you saw, I have a phone, but I also have this sort of phone. This is a phone we have in the church offices here, and we can communicate with people by means of picking up the phone, although this one, as you can see, there's no wires. I can't really talk to somebody over this phone right now, but we do use phones. Although more and more people today, in the year 2020 and beyond that, are going to be, more and more people will not have a home phone like that in their house. But people have a cell phone. A cell phone. And we can use that to communicate with people, either by phone or by using some form of social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and all sorts of things that we can use. And we're also communicating with one another this way, through video chatting on YouTube or wherever. But we can do that. You can use Zoom as well to chat with people. But there's something about, we talk to people, but we're also talking with people. Whether we're inside or whether we're outside, we can talk with people. If they're in our family group, our family bubble, then we can talk with them with our masks off. But if we're out somewhere, then we have our masks on, but we can still verbally talk with people. And there's other people that are deaf, that can't hear, that they use sign language so that they can communicate with different people. There's all sorts of different ways to communicate, and we like to communicate with people when we're in a relationship with them. But what's the greatest thing that we have in our ability to communicate with God? Do we ever get, a charge for talking with God? We can't talk with God on the phone. Do we talk with God through drums or through smoke signals or through Morse code or something? No, we can talk with God from within our hearts. And all it takes is just opening up our hearts and talking in conversation with God. Like the psalmist said in Psalm 116, I love the Lord, for he hears my voice. He hears my cry for mercy. He turns his ear to me, and I will call on the Lord as long as I live. We never get a busy signal when we want to talk with God. We never get the operator cutting into the line saying, please insert more money, or your card has expired and you can no longer talk with the person you're trying to talk to when we're talking with God. We can talk with God wherever we are. And some of the times that we talk with God normally are, maybe when we get up in the morning, we wake up and say, wow, God, it's a great new day. Thanks, help me to live for you today. Help me to see you throughout the day. And then before a meal, we say a word of thanks for the food that God blesses us with. And sometimes we talk with God when we go to bed. And we talk about our whole day and we give it to God and we thank him for the gift of rest. There's all sorts of, just God only wants our honest hearts talking with him. And we don't need anything fancy. It just comes from within, and he hears us all the time. So pray. Talk with God. Tell him what's going on in your life. Be open and honest with God, and he hears you, and he'll help you to hear him and to follow him. Thanks for joining with me today, and may the Lord bless you and keep you safe this week.